Hello everyone, my name is PolishLynx and welcome back to Serafina Saga. 2:30 AM. Let's start the recording. Actually, I was supposed to start half an hour ago, but unfortunately some interruptions appeared. In advance, sorry if I will yawn a little bit. Well, that can happen at that time of day, of night. Whatever. I collapsed on the balcony and struggled to regain my breath. Several times during that climb, I imagined myself plunging down the tower to my death. But somehow, I held strong, and now I'm here. Tentatively, I peeked through the window. That's too bright. Tea? Arken pulls a steaming kettle from his fireplace and suspends it over a cup. What manner of tea is it? Chula tea, brewed from a plant found only in deep parts of the jungle. It is also poison. Arken pours a cup for himself and takes a calm sip. It is only lethal in very large doses. In smaller doses, it cleanses the body of unwanted toxins. Robin laughs nervously. Thank you, but I'll pass. Arken shrugs and resumes sipping his own cup. I see that you've made yourself quite comfortable here. It's amazing that Kalias has chosen to overlook your past deeds and give you another chance. I'm sure he wants something from me, just as you do. Arken looks Robin over again, from his tall velvet boots to the high cut top, to his bright grinning face. Admit there's something about you that feels familiar, like a Geridar. But perhaps it's just because you so desperately seem to crave something. A family trait that I've had to embrace. Besides, Kalias is lonely. Father died so prematurely. Kalias's wife, Grand Princess Polyperine, died last year of miscarriage. He lost his wife and child both at once. Kalias marries Perrin? Yeah, but I'm sorry to say that Perrin family has lost some favor since this incident. Grand Princess Poly's father, house leader Marcus Perrin, didn't take her death very well and began to mismanage his duties. The Grandil household now sits second to the Geridars at the table of the Royal Duma. And who leads the Grandil family now? Bellatrix Grandil is house leader and also a commander in the army. Bellatrix? Kristoff's daughter. Yeah, but Kristoff is dead. He died when... Oh wait, aren't you the one who killed him? Yeah. Right, well, she's a very powerful woman, but she continues to obey Kalias's every whim, nonetheless. So at least you should be safe from her wrath, so long as Kalias likes you. My mind is spinning in a desperate attempt to keep up with the conversation. Arken killed Bellatrix's father. Why? When? I remember the hatred in her eyes as she chased me through the night, and now I understand why she hates him so passionately, but I'm still trying to digest that when Papa changes the subject. If you're really a Geridar, then you must have some ability from Malion. Oh, that! Robin laughs, perhaps a little too loudly. I may not change metal into gold or fabric into silk, but I can make women's legs open like doorways before me. And that for sure won't happen with Serafina. How's that for an ability? I grimace quietly behind the mask of my head. Papa's reaction is similar. Horseshit, even Malion doesn't claim to do that. Well, if I was born with the ability to turn some plain material into a precious substance, then I simply haven't figured out which one yet. But Malion's blood runs in my veins, I can promise you. Even grandmother said so. Grandmother? Do you mean? Tanya, of course, who else? Mother wouldn't ever accept you, even if, especially if, you really were Tristan's bastard, which I still don't believe. She didn't accept me until Tristan died, then her attitude towards me changed completely. She even said I look more like Malion than anyone else in our family. Malion's hair is often described as golden, but she met him once and said it had a slightly reddish hue. That does sound like something mother would say. So, enough reminiscing. What can you tell me about the key to the ground keep? Do you still have it? I don't remember offering to tell you anything. You came in to tell me what you think you know of its whereabouts. Yeah, well, I know that Vivian Trell gave it to you those years ago, shortly before you disappeared. Everyone knows that. I know that a small jewel was found near Nadia Elmore's dead body. It was the same jewel set in the key to the Grand Keep. Arken is sighing a long while. I recognize the look in his eyes right now. It is the same one I have learned to avoid at all costs after a great deal of trial and error. How do you know about that? I told you, I am Tristan's son. Father didn't want anyone to know about the missing key at first. He wanted everyone else in the castle to believe he possessed it. Years later, Xavier Wolfen showed up and forced him to confess that he didn't have the key or know where it was. The blood drains from Papa's face, but Reuben doesn't seem to notice. After all, Xavier should have killed him if he actually took the key without Vivian's approval. I suppose he didn't want people to think he was slacking off. Xavier came back. Xavier? Of course, he still visits the castle every now and then. For a while he kept saying he would find the key and kill whoever carries it. But we all know he's bluffing. Vivian's gone, so what reason does he have to keep protecting the key? Arken starts to take another sip of tea, then sets the cup back down, which is shaking in his grasp. He swore an oath to Bellatar. He said it so quietly I almost don't hear him, but the sound of the god of wrath's name makes fear burn in my stomach. An oath to Bellatar? And I don't really know how that works, but I suspect that with enough money we can pay him to swear a new oath or something, right? I doubt it. Papa breathes violently, sweat breaths across his forehead. The only time I've ever seen him so anxious was when he nearly got killed by a griffin. And I underestimated the oath that he took once, and Nadia died for my mistake. Oh. Reuben is tense, his breath is strange as Arken's, but I don't think Reuben feels afraid right now. I think he's purely excited. Yeah, I see. You gave the necklace to the Queen Nadia, and that's why Xavier killed her. He thinks you are the only one who should have the necklace, because Vivian entrusted it to you, and you alone. Arken moves forward, so his entire body bristles. Congratulations, you figured out what happened 17 fucking years ago. Reuben takes a step back. He seems very small in the shadow of Arken's looming body. I've seen Papa pretty angry before, but never at me. This is the sort of anger he reserves for an animal he intends to duel to the death. I don't envy Reuben as he tries to withstand Arken's glare. I was just explaining how I knew about the jewel. The jewel that fits into the key. A round diamond of some sort, except it's not exactly diamond, because it has a color, but the color seems to change from time to time. Father showed it to us. Many years later, he said that if we ever find the key, we confirm its identity by fitting the pieces back together. You can determine whether it's the real key by whether or not it opens the ground keep. I suppose that's true. Reuben's hands fidget nervously at his sides, but he has recovered enough now to attempt another one of his well-practiced smiles. But what if they need to fit back together in order to open the door? Perhaps that's why you were keeping quiet about the key. For now. Perhaps it doesn't work, but that's why we can't help each other. I have the jewel. Kalias entrusted it to me some time ago, and if you had the key... I don't have the key, Reuben. I lost it in the jungle a long time ago, and I didn't bother looking for it. It brought back too many bad memories. Once again, I'm surprised by how easy Papa lies. If I didn't know any better, I would probably believe him. Reuben, however, remains skeptical. Perhaps he's better at smelling lies than I am. And Queen Nadia's baby daughter. Yeah, I know about her as well. Dad, do you really think I could take care of a baby by myself in the jungle? I tried. Gods know I tried. But the baby died, and that's the end of it. Arken moves forward again, pressing Reuben towards the door. You're wasting your time looking for a long-lost princess. If you wish to remain in my good graces, then you will never speak of her again. However, perhaps you and I can help each other after all, Reuben. Reuben cannot restrain a gasp of delight. Yeah, anything. Help me kill Xavier, and I will help you get the key to the Grand Keep. So you do know where the key is? But kill Xavier? He's a Wolven, an assassin of the highest caliber. Yeah, he might be a little out of practice, but... Help me kill Xavier, or don't bother wasting my time again. He moves around Reuben, opens the door, and cocks his head towards the hallway. You can go now. But... Once Reuben is gone, I wonder how I'm ever going to get down from here. I'll probably have to wait until Arken leaves his room, but how long will that be? I don't want to keep spying on him much longer. It feels wrong, even if he's the one who deceived me first. I'm still trying to figure out what to do when I suddenly hear a strange sound coming from within his room. Belatedly, I recognize the sound as sobs, soft, restricted sobs, but sobs not less. Papa is crying. I wait a long time, feeling my own heart squeezing in my chest. Despite everything, I can't stand to see Papa this way. At long last, he makes his way to his bed and collapses there. I think he has drifted to sleep. Papa has very sharp hearing, but I'm willing to take that risk in order to escape from this balcony. I embrace the fear and strain that burns through me as I put my hands on the wall on the tower once more. Right now, anything seems better than facing his pain and confusion. I avoid people as much as I can for the rest of the day. I don't even go to the combat training ground, although I would very much like to thrust my spear into something. Going there would mean interacting with humans, and humans just confuse me. Papa tried to warn me about the greed and deceit of humans for so many years, but it turns out that he's more confusing than any other human out there. I spent a long time lying in bed, tossing and turning, or else getting up and making a desperate attempt to exercise in my tiny excuse of a room. But all the while I can't stop thinking about all the times Papa has lied to me. How can I put faith in any of the values he instilled in me if he only did so for the sake of keeping me in the dark? More importantly, where do I go from here? For this entire journey, my goal has been to rescue Papa from his captors, but clearly he is in no need of my help. He is far better at traversing the treacherous waters of politics than I am, and he doesn't seem in a hurry to go home either. For a moment I faced the temptation of running away from it all myself. I could return to the jungle, no one need discover my existence. I would spend my days hunting, tending plants, and surviving in the wild. I dismissed the fantasy almost as quickly as it arises. Such a life would no longer fulfill me, knowing what I now know about the world beyond. And even if it did, I would need someone else to share it with. For such a long time, Papa was the only person I needed to make me happy. Now I don't even have him, and here comes. I never did. That sounds so terrible. Fair, are you here? I jump from bed with a start. The voice is Jesus. I glance in a basin of water next to my bed to check my appearance. I look terrible. My hair is asked, my eyes puffy from crying. But I can't just hide from the world forever, can I? Come in, Lord General. I pick myself up smooth out my clothes and attempt to put on a normal expression. It's not very easy. As he enters, I'm surprised once more by the intensity of his presence. Though not particularly tall or large, he has an aura of strength and stability emanating from his solid muscles, heavy armor, and perfect posture. I am mesmerized by the beauty of his dark skin. Yeah. That text message is not important. Dark skin as the candlelight flickers over it, and when he looks at me, his crisp brown eyes both gentle and demanding at once. I feel compelled to muster up all the dignity within me and attempt to impress him. Fair, are you well? Lord Reuben tells me you stopped working early today. At first I'm tempted to lie and tell him that nothing is wrong, but if I do that, won't I keep avoiding the inevitable? Will I simply keep adding to the veil of lies around me until the truth no longer matters? I'm not well, has Jesu? I think it's Jesu. I'm not sure, but whatever. I thought I could eventually learn how to handle myself here in Castle Crondoli. I thought I might even find a permanent place for my skills amongst the other nobles and servants. But the longer I'm here, the more confused I become. Hey. Tears sting my eyes again. I turn away before I can see them. Fair. I know that life here is difficult, but you can't let that deter you. Usually the most valuable goals in life are also the hardest to obtain. You don't understand, that's the problem. I don't know what I want anymore. I thought I wanted to become a member of the Royal Guard, but now that I've seen how King Kalias treats his people... Careful, Fair. I dare to meet his gaze, even though it makes the hairs on my mouth stands on end. I'm glad you feel the urge to converse freely with me, but I do not take words against the king lightly, no matter the circumstances. He sighs and turns away from me for a moment. We all have our doubts about King Kalias from time to time. Sometimes one cannot resist questioning his decisions. But he is the king, and will remain so until the next election, therefore. Therefore, it is our duty to support him fully and without hesitation. If you disagree with him, bury those thoughts and feelings deep within you, and try to forget them. That's not right. The people are starving, and what's the point of electing a king if no one can overturn his decisions? Precisely for that reason. So no one can overturn his decisions. If they could, the government would fall to chaos. His voice has a sharp edge now. I suspect he as flustered as I am, though he's better at hiding it. At least once a month, the Royal Duma, a group of house leaders from all the noble families of Dorsia, meets to voice their concerns on a variety of topics, including the king's own policies. It is the only circumstance in which questioning King Kalias' decision is appropriate, and it is only the house leader's place to do so, not anyone else's. If a majority votes to overturn a policy, then they will successfully do so. So it's possible then. I try to imagine such a scenario. And how might a new king or queen get elected? Well, that would only happen if all the members of the Royal Duma agreed anonymously to hold a new election. But getting an anonymous decision from all the house leaders is practically impossible, so normally elections are only held when the former king or queen dies. Why haven't they made an anonymous decision then? Kalias is destroying the land. Just breathless, his dark skin seems to turn even darker as he flashes with fury. Because he keeps the nobles rich enough, they can continue to afford whatever they desire. And that's King Kalias too. I will not warn you again. Speak ill of him one more time, and you can forget about your chances of becoming a royal guard. At first we both just glare at each other. My messy hair feels like hackles rising from the back of my neck. We are both breathing heavily, my heart pounds in my eardrums. If I disobey him, he will have no choice but to keep me out of the royal guard. That is his duty. I'm sorry, in the case I have nothing more to say right now. I'm sorry. In that case I have nothing more to say right now. Which one should I choose? This one? I don't know. Finally I draw back and bow my head. Sorry, I should have not spoken such thoughts alone. But well, the continuation will be in the next episode actually. Hope you enjoyed that one somehow, and see you then! Sleepy Lynx is ending that episode and will continue in a second the next one. Bye! But you will see that in the next day. Bye.